Well, today's going to be another forearm day, and we're going to end up adding in some side delt work at the advice of Coach. But the real reason we're adding in side delts is because the way I view my forearm day is not just forearms, but generally you should take rest days. And this is my way of taking a rest day because forearms are light, they recover quick, and you don't have to worry about them. And I want not just to dedicate this day to forearms, but to the muscles that I kind of neglect, you know what I mean? So I've talked about abs, I've talked about shoulders, I've talked about, all kinds of muscles. Whichever muscles I'm having trouble with, or I feel like I need to develop more, why not add them in, Calves, that's a perfect example, people train them maybe once or twice a week, and that's just not doing it. So adding them in on what's going to be a rest day, anyways, why not? And this also works as a way for me to obviously bring them up while still getting a rest day in, because this is it's light work. She has a lot of opinions about this, but in terms of this day, I still get rest in. I'm not working my major muscles, my back, my chest, my legs are getting a rest, but it's also a way for me to bring up things that are lacking and jump. But yeah, this is going to be a light day. Focus on cardio. I hit a new low this morning in terms of weight, so I'm feeling good. So we'll just see how I do, and hopefully I will have a little more insight afterwards. Welcome back, Coach. I'm feeling really good about that workout. It took a smaller amount of time than my main workouts, but I did get in a lot of nice work on, I didn't just do dumbbell lateral raises, and I didn't just do them together, I did them together and I did them separate, one arm at a time, so that way I could really focus on it. I did cables. Obviously, I've found that I think I like the front cable a little more than doing it behind the back. And then I did a ton of extra forms, reverse curls, wrist curls with the light weights, and, little things here and there where I'm just able to bring up weak points and really get a good pump of my forearms, good pump of my shoulders, even hit a little rear delts, just anything that has kind of a weak point that I'm not training right now. I'm not going to train rear delts until back day, so I got a couple days to rest. Same with side delts. Same with, if I were to train calves, yeah, I did calves yesterday, but guess what? I can add in calves any old day I want. It doesn't have to just be leg day. It doesn't have to be leg day, because you can actually just throw them in during your back sets or your chest. As long as you have adequate rest and your calves are feeling good, why not train them more than 1 to 2 times a week? If you want to make something bigger, yes, you got to rest it, but you also got to train it more, and you got to train it harder. And that's all I'm doing. I mean, this is a way for me to bring up weaknesses, but the main point of it is I just love being in the gym. Thank you. I love being in the gym. I can quit that. I love being in the gym. And because I want to be in there more often, I go ahead and just work things that, I don't normally work. So that way I'm still getting my rest in, and I'm still ready for my next sets of my main exercises. But I'm still in there working, and I'm having fun. That's what I like to do. And the gym is somewhere where I'm just, happy. And I think that's the main thing that I've echoed before, but you should be doing what makes you happy. And obviously what makes her happy is licking me. But tomorrow is going to be more biceps and triceps, possibly some more shoulders, maybe little rear delts, because I got a few days, and we'll just see, maybe more calves. But it was a good workout. I got more cardio ahead of me before it gets too rainy and before the gyms, close and I don't have access to machines. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Coach does too. And we will see you tomorrow. And hopefully you did your cardio.